Hello, Accelerated Geography students. Mr. Abasian here. Today we're going to be talking about two parts of your continent project that you can now add. This would be the latitude and longitude degrees along with a climate map and colored legend for you. And so I'm going to talk you through. At this point, we have covered everything that you see that's up on the screen, either through a rough draft or talking through it in class. And so now we're going to apply two more spots that I've got here. So at this point right now, with your Create a Continent project, if I'm looking at the outline that's here, we know we've got our elevation legend, our continent legend, or if you're over here, elevation and continent legend, along with your physical map with appropriate colors and a compass as well. Now we need to add longitude and latitude to this area. Let me show you what your final product is going to look like with this magic kingdom. We need to add longitude and latitude degrees. Okay? And so if I'm taking a look at my world map that's here, my longitude and latitude degrees for my Create a Continent project are going to tell me two things. One, how big or small my continent is, and two, where my continent is located in the world. Now, as a heads up already, I'm going to tell you this. Place your continent somewhere that people can live on, and don't throw them directly into the ocean somewhere. So they have to be on a piece of land that's here. So in order to be able to do this, we're going to use this continent example as our example for today. So if you take a look, you'll notice that I've got 0 degrees at the equator, 10 degrees, 20 degrees south, and even into 30 degrees south here. So if I'm taking a look at my map that's here, 0 degrees, 10, 15, 30. So we're talking about an area from here to here, basically, in the world for latitude. As far as longitude goes, well, we've got 30 degrees west, 40 degrees, 50 degrees, 60 degrees west, and 70 degrees west right here. So if I'm looking at my world map, 30 to about 70 is about this area here. So if I'm taking a look at this area here and this area here for latitude, and I put them together like I find with my latitude and longitude coordinates, we're looking at somewhere around Brazil, probably bigger in the northern part of South America that's here. Now, that's great because this continent, with the latitude and longitude they've used, lets me know that that's where it's located. So, with that, there's a couple of things you need to know. You need to put the correct longitude and latitude degrees of wherever you want your continent located in the world that has to be on land. You can go by increments of 5 to 10 for your degrees, making sure you label south or north or west or east for longitude and latitude. That's here. Notice number 2, that these latitude lines and longitude lines are behind the continent, and so make sure that that is on your project as well. And finally, they can be curved or they can be straight, depending on how you choose. Now with this, keep in mind you can't do a very small continent where you're like, hey, it's 0 degrees to 1 degree here for longitude, and it's 15 degrees to 16 degrees, and we're going to put it right here. No, that would be an island. Okay. You also don't want to be like, it's 180 degrees east to 180 degrees west of Asian. No, that's too big. That's the whole world. That's a supercontinent. So it's got to be about the right size for what you want for your continent. And again, you could place it anywhere that you would like in your world that's here. So again, if I'm taking a look at this, that covers my latitude and longitude degrees. They got to be placed on the edges with accurate degrees and directions. Now, where does that come into place when we're talking about a climate map? Well, if I take a look again at the setup here, a climate map is going to happen here or here, along with a climate legend. Now, wherever you place that continent, the climate legend and the climate map are going to have to match up. So, notice I've got climate map here, and I've got a climate legend here. Well, let's take a read through the directions. It says this: a climate map section showing the climate zones of your continent with a colored legend. Note, latitude is the biggest factor to determine climate. And use your climate foldable, which would be right here, right? What you did. And use pages 60 and 61. If we're saying using pages 60 and 61, it's out of your textbook. That's right here. Here's what happens. wherever you placed your continent in the world, right, based off the degrees, you're going to copy that exact climate colors that you would see on pages 60 and 61 into your climate map, because climate zones don't change. So wherever you locate it based off of longitude and latitude degrees, you're going to copy that exact formation of colors. Now notice, the water that's here, there's no colors in it because there's no people living there. That's why I've asked you to place your continent somewhere where there is land. And I don't care if it goes between two regions, it's wherever you choose that's something that can be livable for your people. So let's go back once again to this continent project. We know where it's located, and notice this. Now this would be your tropical wet and dry, right? Area, which is mainly orange here. I'm sorry, it's a little hard to see, but this is the red area that's here, or the tropical wet. You'll notice a little yellow with semi-arid that's in here as well. If we're taking a look at our climate map where this continent is located, it's located right here. You'll notice the red for the tropical wet. You'll notice the tropical wet and dry is the orange, and then the yellow area with the semi-arid. Because this is where their continent is located, right? Their continent is located somewhere around Brazil, that's here. Those exact colors match up with what's on the climate map that's right here. Again, if I'm taking a look at this, it matches up. I apologize again that it's so hard to see these colors because of my scanning, but wherever that is, that's where it's going to match up. So, I do have a few recommendations for you here as you're using your climate map. Number one, your climate has to have, or your map has to have, 2 or more climate zones, okay? One of or 2 or more of the 12 zones that you've got here, all right? So you can't be like, yes, I'm putting it where Africa is. I'm just going to do this color. Nope. It's got to be 2 or more. Number 2, notice how I've got 12 listed here. You don't have to list all 12. In fact, whatever ones that you list in your climate map are the only ones that you have to list in your legend here. And I'm going to ask you to directly copy the colors from pages 60 and 61 to put that in your legend that's there. So, it's just something to keep in mind that your climate map and your continent or your colored legend have to match that's there. As always, if you've got more questions about what this climate map entails, how to put longitude and latitude degrees that are there, let me know. In this case, just provide an outline for your climate map that you've got that's here. You don't need all the intricate parts of the physical features that are here. And make it simple with the climate legend. Reference back to the back of your instructions that will have how the layout needs to go, because you need to follow that exactly. And as always, any questions, let myself know through email, or you can talk with me in class. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys soon.